Maybe not. Oh my Lanta, we're live. It is episode number 150 of the Seacoast Beverage Lab podcast. We did it. I am your host, Brian Aldridge of the Seacoast Beverage Lab, and this is the Seacoast Beverage Lab podcast for the 15th of August, 2016. We did it, episode number 150, and we're still coming at you with some good beer news. I am coming at you drinking looks like a Rebel Cascade from Sam Adams. So kind of mixing it up today. It's the old wide mouth Sam Adams can right there coming at you.
Oh, patented and all.
Yep, it's scientific. I'm drinking the science beer tonight. It's fine, but I'm also here in the same casa as Ben Watts. What's going on, Ben?
What's going on, peeps? I'm also drinking Rebel Cascade Ale, only because when you open a 12-pack from one end, those same beers tend to be on the top portion.
Well, you have to match because you're sharing one pair of headphones, so, you know.
It's true.
Wait, how do you know this?
Your mind only goes through one direction.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're going to rank things on this podcast from least adorable to most adorable, I think this headphone sharing will rank out right there at the top.
So gross.
Speaking of adorable, let's throw it over to SJ, Sean Jansen.
Oh.
How's it going, guys? I'm Sean Jansen from TwoBeerGuys.com. I'm currently drinking a Great Rhythm Squeeze.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. How is that? Good?
It's good. It's nice and hoppy, and as you can see from here,
That can's purty.
Oh, it looks like orange juice. Is this morning? Is this breakfast?
a little breakfast for dinner.
Nice. Carla, what's happening?
Hey, everybody. I'm actually drinking a Peak Organic Evergreen IPA. It doesn't say on the can,
That's
but
one.
on the package it says that this has spruce tips and juniper in it.
Does it taste like that, though? Can you taste kind of the spruce tip?
It's not as sprucey as some of the other spruce beers that I've had. So it's not like a Christmas tree. It's more like a piney IPA, which is nice. I like that better than hi, I'm drinking a Christmas tree.
What's exciting about that beer is that it comes in a split 6-pack.
Yes.
I thought was awesome.
Wait, what's split? Like, what's the other one?
It's three like kind of piney style IPAs, and then three more like juicy IPAs.
Cool.
Yeah,
so
the Crush.
the
It should
other
be.
one,
It should be. Yeah, Evergreen and Crush.
Evergreen and Crush.
Sean, how do you know that?
I just memorized the package.
That's kind of cool because you don't
Yes,
see
huh.
that very often, you know, because usually you get a mix where there's like you guys have, where there's like probably 2 or 3 of each.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's half and half, you know, so it's kind of like buying 2 at once. Kind of neat.
So we have a ton to get to. I know it's episode 150 and hoorah, like, hey, we did it, like, yes, but there's a lot of good stuff that we've done the past couple of weeks, all of us, and a lot of good news we want to talk about. I'll start out really quick. I made a trip to Indianapolis, Indiana, this past week, and big shout-outs to the 7 or 8 breweries I went to, but most importantly, I went to a brewery called Daredevil, which is over by the Speedway, and I thought, like, if you guys see the Indy 500 on TV, and you're like, oh, it's big, cool, like, you need to go to Indianapolis and see the size of the Speedway. It is crazy. I'm telling you, it is like you drive into it, and then you see everything. It's not bad, but there's a brewery right outside called Daredevil, and they were doing some killer beers. I made it over to Sun King, which both Sean and Carly you've been to.
Yeah, we love that spot.
Great.
There-
Yeah.
Daredevil's logo looks like a football helmet. Oh no, it's it's not a football helmet. It's a regular helmet with a D on it.
So yeah, I was wondering if it was like a Evel Knievel Daredevil or like a football helmet kind of thing. But it was, they had some good beers though. But Sun King had great beers. I went to a cidery, a meadery. Indiana's got it going on. We Southern Indiana, as that's where it was. But big things come out of there. I didn't bring anything home because just luggage, and I don't want to carry much home with me. But I really enjoyed Sun King.
Were there any specific beers that stood out?
So I had a very cool, like, it's rare that you find a IPA on Nitro, and Daredevil had an IPA on Nitro, which I really enjoyed.
Nice.
But also, Sun King made a beer specifically for the Gen Con, which is the board game and card game convention, which is held every year in Indiana. And I believe it was like a Scotch ale or an old ale, and it was really good. They had cans that were specially branded for it. If you happen to go to my Instagram, you'll find it. It looks like I think it's a rye. Sorry, because it's called 20-sided rye, and it's a 20.
Oh, like a 20
You know what? I
Oh.
saw that one.
Yeah, so if you check the can, it has like a 20-sided dice on the can, and it was really good too. And it was made specifically for that convention, and rightfully so, because that convention took over the entire city. There was people walking around with like cat ears and cat tails and like weird cosplay. I mean, good for them, but it was super weird walking around that city. Like, it's way different than when us three were walking around there in 2010 or something like that. It was.
Well, what outfit were you wearing?
I was wearing basically this. So I was walking around as the beer blogger of the crew. No, but it was interesting seeing that kind of crowd. I didn't get a chance to go there, but they also had a Indiana State Fair, which is going on, which ends this week, and they have a beer and wine tent, which is very cool to see. I hope that Big E down in Mass takes some notes by it, because it's nice to see kind of a good focus on the craft beer of the area. So they had about 7 or 8 beers on tap, 7 or 8 wineries on tap at the same time, just kind of hanging out, and so you can talk to the brewers, you can try the beer. It was really cool. It was nice to have at a state fair. It's usually like the big turkey leg or the
Right.
balloon in the mouth. Like it's weird. Like, but no, it was cool to see like a focus on something that's up and coming. It's neat. Other than that, I might pass it to Sean to talk about a little bit about this, but we both met up really quick at the Great Rhythm opening.
So on Saturday, well, actually, they got their license the week beforehand, but on Saturday, as Brian mentioned, the Great Rhythm opened their first actual brew house. They've been around since, I think, 2012 in different capacities. They were initially brewing out of Ipswich, and then they were brewing out of Smut Labs, and then now they actually have their own home, which is on Bartlett Street, right next to a big Ace Hardware. So good parking lot, a big space, a big brewery. I got a little river flowing right next to them, so there's a lot of there's some outdoor opportunity.
Yes.
In addition to the Resonation Pale Ale, which they had available, they also had 3 first-time beers that they'd never made before, which were Cutaway, which is a pale American Pale Ale, Hi-Fi, and Squeeze. I believe Hi-Fi was that the Mosaic?
Yes. I think was it Squeeze was the Mosaic IPA,
Okay.
and then Hi-Fi was the IPA, and then Cutaway was the wheat, the session wheat. Yeah, the one you have there.
So I'm going basically.
It is tough because they don't mention exactly what it is on the can, which is we're taking back to them.
And when I just went to Untapped, actually said, oh yeah, Cutaway, the pale, the wheat pale ale.
Yep.
Those are pretty. Is that it looks like a paper label, but it's not. I'm assuming.
It is. No, so it's an adhesed onto the can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's not really something I've seen much. That's kind of cool.
There's
the
a few breweries doing the same kind of thing, but it's just because they have Iron Art coming through and they're doing cans and slapping.
Well, they have their own canning line, so and they could have put these labels on either bottles or cans, and they went with blank cans.
Right.
And so I think it was just the simplicity of, hey,
Yeah.
we don't. I suspect that if you look at it, like, because there's no name on it, as Brian mentioned, like, oh, what will Hi-Fi be?
Right.
I'm not sure yet. Let's not put it on there, but we have this cool design. And then once we do the next running of it, it'll be either more printed like that or probably the truckload of actual printed cans. So.
Yep.
That costs a lot of money to start up.
Yeah, it does.
But do you know, Sean, if the printed cans will have the label fully wrapped around the can, or
if and when they go down that road of the printed can, I'm sure it would.
Okay, cool. But
They've only
oh,
opened since Saturday, so I was just checking on Tap to see how many check-ins that they've had so far. So for Squeeze, so far it's 77. For Hi-Fi, 72, and Cutaway, 56. So not as many as I thought there would be. When we were there, the crowd was actually pretty big. There was a line outside to get in. When you showed up, Ryan, it kind of calmed down a little bit. But
It did.
did it come in waves? Did it get a little bit heavier after that?
So when I got into line, there's probably maybe 10 or 12 or behind me, and then when we sat down, there was pretty much the line had cleared up for a little bit, which was good. So it kind of gave Scott, Kristen, and the crew kind of a time to kind of calm down and reset. But when we left, it was starting to fill up again. So it was a good flow, which was good to see because I've been to brewery openings where it's open but no one really knows about it. But this one seemed that it was well advertised. It was super packed. It was great.
And they've had like sleepless nights to get there too.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it was good to see like that there was a tasting room because there's a lot of breweries that open without tasting rooms, but this one was we're open. We have 4 tasters. Go ahead and try them. We also have cans to buy, so it was well done. I think. And you pull into that Ricci Lumber parking lot in Portsmouth, and you see it, and it's so easy on the eyes. Like it's such a cool big place. Like it's kind of plucked out of San Francisco. Kind of like this. It belongs there. It is such a cool. Like you need to see it to believe it. It's nice. It's such a nice like looking place. I highly suggest everyone go there. It is very nice.
Carl, if you check out their Facebook page, a little bit down is the picture of the outside of the building.
And I believe they had inspiration from the same architect that did the 3S Art Space in Portsmouth. So kind of the same, artsy feel. There's, a couple garage doors around. It's very bright inside, even though it has to stay dark to do some brewing. But it was, I mega kudos because it like when we got in there, it was like they had every piece kind of put into place. It was really cool. I liked it. And I saw Sean just walking out with cases of the beer, so
just cases.
Seemed to be okay. But Carla, what did you get up to? And I also hear you should talk a little bit about Diergo.
Yeah, so there's 2 things. This weekend I actually climbed a mountain.
Congrats!
I went to a beer event called Brews and Views. Which was Baxter Brewing Company hosted a beer dinner at the Stratton Brook Hut, which is part of the Maine Hudson Trails system. So they basically have all these trails, and they have these overnight huts, kind of like the AMC huts that you can stay in as a hiker. So they did this event up near Sugarloaf at the Stratton Brook Hut. So basically I hiked in, the morning of the thing. They had a really great beer dinner. They paired a whole bunch of their beer with some really fabulous food. This was not like, oh, okay, we kind of did a barbecue with some hot dogs and paired it with some beer. This was like a legit beer dinner. And then I stayed in the hut overnight, and then I hiked back down the next day. So it was awesome.
That's cool.
And it's something that, Baxter is very big on outdoor activities and, getting people active and stuff. So it was awesome, and I encourage you guys to look for that next time around. They didn't do, like, a ton of wide advertising about it. So I feel like they could do a better job of getting the word out, because I know a lot of people that would have thought it was cool but really didn't know what was going on.
I would have done that for sure.
Yeah, but it was really fun. I decked out myself in all of the LL Bean gear that I have now that I'm married to someone who works at LL Bean, and I basically hiked up, had a great time. The Baxter folks were great, and they brought 2 beers that they don't can or distribute. One was a Doppelbock, which is only available in their tasting room, which is delicious. And then the other was a version of Pomola that had been aged in barrels, and they put raspberries in with it. So it was like a legit sour beer. And it was awesome. So totally great shout out to those and the Maine Hudson Trails Association for putting that on. Really fun. I would like to see that more often.
That sounds like the idea of a Pomola sour sounds right. That sounds good.
How challenging was the hike?
It was about 3.5 miles, and there were 2 ways you could go. One was more challenging than the other. I went up the hard way, but even that, for me as a novice hiker with a normal pack on, was not a big deal. I think it was like something like a maybe 1,100 foot total ascent difference from where you start to where you go up. Not a big deal. So one way is kind of very switchbacky and steeper, and the other one kind of like circles around the peak. The easy one is super easy.
Okay.
My entire family could have done that. So it was fun. It took me about an hour and a half to get up and down. So easily doable in a day. Also, if you just want to come up and visit. It was raining on Saturday, and they even have a room that's a drying room. So you take all your wet shit, you put it in, take all your wet stuff, you put it in there, and then and then you come and get it like an hour later, and it's super like crispy dry. It's awesome.
That's cool.
That sounds like my kind of room. I need that in my house.
Yeah, I know, right? I was saying that myself. I was like, man, if I could just do that with all my, all these days that it's super humid, just stand in there and dry myself out like a humidor or something, like that would dehumidifier room. I don't know. It'd be fun with all this humidity. And then, so the second big deal is that this Friday, Dirigo Brewing Company is opening. Yay!
Yay!
So they're going to have their first, basically, public day this Friday. They're still kind of working on their tasting room, so they're going to get stuff set. After that, they'll announce, full hours and whatnot. But they have 3 beers they're going to put on. One's a German Pale Ale. One is a German-style red called a Rot beer, and the other one is a beer based on their really old, like an ancient traditional Polish style called a Schops beer, and it's dark and chocolatey. It's really fun. It's a wheat beer as well. So it's they're going to have 3 beers on, totally different from one another, and they're opening to the public this Friday. So you should come and check that out in Biddeford.
Have you tasted their beer yet? Or no?
I have, and it's really good.
All right, perfect. Listen, you heard it here first.
Yep.
Get there.
So the first 3, because of time constraints or whatnot, are all ales, but they do have their Helles in the tank too, so that'll be coming in a couple weeks afterwards.
Oh.
So, and that honestly, like I've missed that Helles forever. So since they stopped brewing it under the name Bull Jagger, I've been waiting for that to come back in some kind of fashion. So I think the time's right too, because there's been more commercially available Helles like the Von Trapp and stuff poking out lately. So it'll be good. I'm excited for them. They posted all these adorable Facebook pictures of like the 2 of them tasting the beer for the first time. It's really cute.
So, just as a reminder for anyone that's been watching or listening to our show for 100 episodes, we actually first spoke with Tom Bull of Bull Jagger in episode 10.
Yes.
140
episodes ago.
Yes, and then
we'll have to get him back on once they get rolling. He's a little bit busy right now, but
right.
and then episode 28, which was March 2013, we actually talked about them closing.
Yeah.
God.
Yep.
Sean with the research right there.
Yeah, good job. Very good job.
Good stuff. He's on it.
Yeah, I'm happy to have them join the fray. They will be the 13th brewery that is opened this year in Maine.
Whoa.
With 3 more at least that I know of coming.
You know the best thing about that?
What?
That freshman orientation is going to need a really massive location.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. That'll be great.
Speaking of that'll be great, Ben, what did you do the past couple weeks? Any beer-related stuff or?
Oh God, not much. No.
Perfect.
Did you guys go to a beer brunch?
No. So wait, I think I talked about it last or 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, but Ben wasn't here.
Yeah, the deciduous beer brunch, and I do recommend people going to York River Landing. But today we went to some. So what's odd is both of us had the day off today, and even though we had the day off, a lot of the breweries also had the day off. So in Portsmouth, a lot of the breweries have the day off, but luckily up in York, some is open on Mondays. So for those that are looking for a good beer on Mondays, yeah.
Right.
So it's nice. We had a couple of their fine beers, but yeah.
And you heard who got their permit last week? Not officially open yet.
Talk to me.
Bad Labs.
Well,
actually, now that you mention it,
we literally just came from there about a half an hour ago. From behind the scenes. So if you follow my Instagram photo or my Instagram page, you'll see I was at a mysterious brewery not an hour ago, and Ben and I infiltrated. We researched, and we got to the bottom. What the hell is going on in Somersworth? Because listen, Somersworth needs a brewery, and I think we found it. I think we did it.
I think
we did it.
We pulled up to the door and kicked it in. Not kicked it in, but kicked it a lot.
Yes.
And then
someone opened the door and said, "What the hell's going on in here?"
And we said, "What the hell's going on in here?"
But we tried a session IPA, we tried a pale ale, and we tried a double IPA. And I think
that photo is creepy.
It is creepy, right?
Well, you have to remember that Empire Beauty School is next door.
Yes.
And those are
That makes more sense now.
Yeah. Not so bad, right?
No,
No, I get it.
But yeah, so there's those kind of heads around the brewery. But no, they're ready to open. There may even be, and this is a podcast exclusive, there might be a tap that might be leaking in Portsmouth sometime this week. So keep an ear to the ground on the Facebooks, the Twitters, and the Instagrams on where a secret tap of Bad Lab might end up somewhere. And it's such a cool marketing idea that I hate even talking about it, but it's nice to be like, oh, cool, there's a new beer on tap somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we had a great time talking to the mysterious brewer Chuck, and we're safe to say that it's gonna be friggin' crazy.
I'm particularly excited about it, having it being local to me, and as we were saying, talking to Chuck, it seems like way more of a professional operation than what I maybe thought it was going to be going into it.
Sure.
So yeah, super excited for Bad Lab to come out.
Yeah.
And they're like straight out of the gates with restaurant accounts, bottles, kegs, growlers.
tasters,
Yeah. So it's not going to be like a trickle out kind of situation. It's full bore out the door.
Awesome.
Any questions, Shauna?
Yeah, is it a big space?
It's a big space, yeah. So if you drive, I mean, you can drive out right now and see it in Somersworth on High Street, but I don't think it's particularly ready right now for tasters. But I believe the beer is going to be shipped out well before the tasting room is open. So you'll have a chance to taste the beer before you can go to the brewery. So you might see it in a restaurant before you get a chance to go taste it. That's
cool.
what I saw today. I don't know if you kind of felt the same way.
Yeah, tasting room size is probably 2 times the size of Blue Lobster, if that rings a bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fairly good size.
Yeah, it's a great size.
Yeah, I would say a little bit bigger than Great Rhythm, but maybe the same once all the tables are there. But it's still they'll have beer shipped to restaurants and bars first before we'll get a chance to sit there. But it'll be nice. I'll have pre-filled growlers, bottles. It'll be nice. Excited to talk about that. Toot Sweet, but it was a shock to get a text today to say, hey, do you want to come see this brewery? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
And then that's why I'm sitting here, because it's that close to Ben's house. So I'm like, all right, may as well do the podcast here. And
Perfect.
Here we are. But
Are we still gonna have a train break?
there's no train here, which is crazy. I'm looking
The
out
train
the
is
window.
here. It's just not as oppressive.
It's not an asphalt train, just laying on the horn. No, so there's a couple articles I want to get to. The one that I brought to the table, which was kind of interesting, and I don't follow the politics much, but part of the recent, all the show notes that we talk about are going to be on the show notes page at splpodcast.com. But part of the WikiLeaks thing a couple weeks ago that kind of leaked some of the Democratic National Convention stuff also leaked a lot of other stuff, including a thing from the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America. One of the like 2 or 3 pages of things that were leaked of that whole Democratic National Convention thing mentioned that the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America paid for an advertisement against the dangers of marijuana, and I thought that was a interesting thing, considering how one industry can pay for ads that kind of target other industries. I wonder if you guys had a chance to look at that ad, but I also thought it was kind of interesting because it's a WikiLeaks, and usually you kind of pair WikiLeaks to political things, and this is kind of like one of those offshoot things where, oh, weird, the wine industry is paying money to warn people against drugs. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to...
So
Yeah,
what
I
we're
mean,
gonna- Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if you think about it, if you're the only industry that can do, like, recreational intoxication, essentially, you don't want to be usurped by legal other means of recreational intoxication, really. So it's...
Is there policy, smoke but don't inhale?
Right. I
Spit
thought
but
you
don't
know
swallow.
that. You know this.
It's the good old spit, but don't
But
swallow.
it's a threat. I mean, they think it's a threat to their business. How real that is, I don't know. But they think it's a threat to the people who just want to get, in an altered mental state. So why would you pay for all this heavily taxed, alcohol when you could, just kind of go get your eyes somewhere else? I don't know. I can see why they would do it though.
You don't see a lot of stoners reaching for that $50 bottle of wine.
No.
And so yeah, it's interesting because they're not trying to gain sales; they're just trying to kind of warn against the competition. So so to me, I read it, and it didn't matter to them that these stoners would go get wine. It's just here's it's kind of like the old commercial, like here's your brain on drugs, any questions? But now like that kind of ad is being paid for by the competition, not just like the government against drugs.
Right. Because it's their livelihood. They don't want another player in the market that they're in.
Right. So
it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It's harmful if whatever it says in the ad, but they're doing whatever they. So think about it. It's kind of like in parts of prohibition when the beer industry was trying to separate itself from the liquor industry, right? Like, oh, liquor's this horrible vice, this horrible thing, but look at beer, it's wholesome, it's wonderful. How could you possibly ever want liquor? Screw liquor, down with liquor, but just keep the beer. There's a lot of that crossover. I don't know.
Yeah, I brought it up because I thought it was weird to see, like, I hear WikiLeaks, I'm like, wait, something we talk about? Like, this is like kind of what we, the news we kind of digest, so it's interesting to see, like, other non-political things kind of leaked. So I don't know if I don't know the effect on the wine on the, it's called the WSWA, the Wine Wholesalers of America. I don't know if they have any backlash from this, but it was interesting to see.
Well, do you think they're also afraid of the fact that one of the main things that people use to argue for the legalization of marijuana is that it's safer than alcohol? Like, they've been sitting there using that as their, like, primary, argument, like, oh, if you're high, nobody, gets into fistfights, nobody, does all this stuff. They've been arguing a long time on the other side about how bad alcohol is. So this might just be a simple backlash.
So do you think there'll be a response from this, from maybe the drug industry?
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's weird because, like, I definitely haven't seen those advertisements over here because it doesn't affect, like, it's not up by us. Maybe if we were in Colorado or Washington, such ads. But I think until it comes up this way, we won't see those ads. But I don't know. Sean, thoughts? Because you're a heavy drug user.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. For the record, everyone listening, I'm totally kidding.
Yeah.
It was a. But Sean, thoughts on the whole thing?
I just think it's weird that they got that just from emails that were extracted through the DNC. It's weird, It really makes me wonder, what are all the emails that they could have extracted from the RNC?
Right?
Oh, here we go.
Like,
oh, God.
They found over on this side, right? Like, arguing
I don't care either way, but I bet there's some gems.
Oh, I bet you there's some. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the article I brought to the table. Sean, keep an eye on it if you think anything else comes out of it, but I just thought it was interesting. I know, did Carla or Sean, did you bring another article?
Well, I posted the one that Carla shared today on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, talk about it. What do we got?
Yeah. So, listicles and how much we all hate, like, random things. And we hate the random, like, best cities in the world, and then it's obvious when you read the blurb that those people have never been there, that kind of stuff. So I saw an article in Draft Magazine, and it said, road trip, Boston to coastal Maine to get the best of beer and seafood. And I was like, oh, God, this is going to be terrible. And I read it, and it's actually awesome. So I was really genuinely surprised. So kudos to Draft Magazine for actually sending someone up here, obviously, to try stuff. So there's only 10 stops, so I'm just going to rattle them off so that you guys can get a sense of this article.
Yeah.
Basically, it's kind of like a little, like, 2-day agenda thing. Drive up and, I'll get all the way up to the coast of Maine by the end of it. So first stop they recommend, Smutty Nose. Solid, okay? But that's kind of an obvious solid, so I was like, all right. Number 2, Stoneface. And I'm like, all right. This is cool.
Yes.
Number 3, black birch. I was like, oh.
Yes.
Okay. You guys, yeah. I was like, oh, all right. And they tell you, you know, that the majority of the trap lines are Maine and New Hampshire beer, and you should get some tributary Rising Tide and Banded Horn while you're there. And I'm like, okay. The next place they mention, I wanted to know if you guys have heard of this because I have not been there, which is it's called the Ocean Roll, which is a food truck that does clam cakes, swordfish sandwiches, lobster rolls, chowder, and more.
Wait, that's one dish?
Where is that?
It's no, like in one food truck. So it's the Ocean Roll is the name of it, and apparently it's at the corner of Ross Road and Route 1, and I have no idea where that is. But I was like, okay, lobster rolls are cool. So have you guys heard of that at all? Like,
I've never heard of it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to investigate that. I don't know where Ross. I don't even know what city that's in.
I'm up to it. Let's do it.
And then next it tells you to go to Allagash. Right on.
Yes.
And tells you exactly about that you can get a free pours whether you take the tour or not, which is like a little behind the scenes secret. And then next to go to Bissell Brothers' new location. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They know it's moved. And then Little Tap House, which I always heartily recommend. Then following that, and also mentioning more local beers you can get on tap there, Foundation, Nice, Marshall Wharf, that type of thing. Then followed by Maine Beer Company up in Freeport. Then Wolf's Neck Farm, which is up on the mid-coast. It's kind of like they have barn and gardens, and you can like hike and kayak there. And then they recommend going to Oxbow Tap Room to check out what they're blending in there. So a really well-rounded, awesome trip. So I wrote an article way back that was 48 hours of Portland, Maine. But this is a nice like, hey, I'm just gonna take a weekend, drive out the coast. If you're leaf peeping, perhaps. Check that out because there's some really good details in there, and I was pleasantly surprised that it sounds like these people actually went here instead of just Googling it.
Okay, so Carla,
Yeah.
I believe Ross Road crosses in between Saco and OOB.
Oh, okay.
Not too far from Funtown Splashtown.
USA.
Oh, okay. I am in that area frequently, so I will take a look for it next time I'm there. I'm looking at the picture on their website now, and it looks like kind of a pseudo-retro fire truck, even though it's not. It's red and white, and it says lobster rolls and clams and whatever on the top of it. So I'll take a look at for that next time I'm in the area. That's pretty cool.
And I think that's a good from a I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Carla, but from a guy that's been to Portland for beer a lot, that's a good solid list for that area.
Mm-hmm.
Where you hear some of the most popular places, quote unquote, but there are also a lot of places that people should be going.
Yeah.
I think you keep saying you preach the Little Tap House, which awesome place, and I'm glad to see it on a list like that. It's cool.
Yeah, and what I liked is, this is only a 600-word article, so you can't put in everything. So I posted this already, and somebody was like, well, if you're at Allagash, you have to go across to Foundation and Austin Street, and I was like, okay.
I don't have any more words to say that.
Right.
But yes.
A, yes, but B, they already kind of cover that in like Little Tap and Black Birch. They're like, go try these other Maine breweries while you're there, and I think that's a really efficient way to do it, especially if you only have a couple days time. Go have 3 different beers from 3 different Maine breweries while you're in Maine in one spot instead of making 3 stops. If you only have a half of an afternoon. So, but yeah, if you're gonna spend the day up in Industrial Park up there where Allagash is, sure, go around to all of them. But I still think this is solid.
Cool.
So kudos to that.
Link is in the show notes, Sean, right?
At Draft Magazine. So
It is.
Good.
I'm actually trying to use like Google Earth to find
figure out where
if I
it
can
is.
see the
Google Earth.
or whatever it is. I don't know.
Maps.
Maps?
No, when you look at the Earth view of
The actual Earth.
Exactly.
He's playing Where's
Oh,
Waldo.
Sean's my
Where
favorite.
is the Earth?
Yeah, it's it looks like it's owned by a place called Sea Salt Lobster down the street from me.
Oh, okay. I know where that is because that's a big old place. That's really like you could walk to Barreled Souls from there.
Ooh,
So I'll have to take a peek at that because
that kind of Route 1. Okay.
That's my guess.
yeah, neat.
And it looks. Did you guys recognize the picture of the author?
No.
She I wonder if she actually has attended the bloggers conference.
Pop a link in there. Oh, okay, getting real deep with this link. Hold on.
I
This
don't
is-
see her picture.
This
Where
is
did
the point of the podcast where, let me see. Nope.
Wait, she works there?
No,
She
she
works for Giraffe Magazine.
Giraffe Magazine.
Oh,
Nope.
I've seen her before
You seen her before?
in my dreams.
Oh, my dreams. Get out of here.
What's that?
So, yes, check out the article in the show notes. Sean, what did you bring to the table? Anything?
I did. Well, I brought two things. One, I thought Carla was going to. Carla, did you see that there was a WMTV news article about craft breweries coming to Maine? Not news article, news clip, where it was about craft breweries coming to Maine at a rapid pace on Channel 8.
Yes.
So they actually great. Well, they actually featured and visited Foulmouth Brewing, which is the new brewery located in South Portland that recently opened up in May. So that was an interesting article to actually see a news clip tour of a brewery, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and what I like about that is that that's not like, oh, hey, here's this brewery that's been here for 3 years. Have you been there yet? Like, I mean, Foulmouth is like weeks old, so I'm really happy to see WMTW kind of keeping up with stuff like that, because a lot of the times, especially like, no offense, but some of the local news stations, they're kind of like, oh, did you know that they're putting beer in cans now?
Right. It's like, come on.
But I'm really excited to see them, checking out, places like Foulmouth, because they really do deserve the attention.
And every day I see, or at least every other day I see, an Instagram photo of someone at Foulmouth eating like what looks to be the best looking food I've seen in forever.
It's so good.
Makes me so upset that I passed up their menu when I was there the first time. So
yeah, you have to get.
very soon I'm going to go back to have some food there because it looks so good.
I'm trying really hard to mute this, and it's not muting.
Is that a hot ad for Foulmouth Brewery?
No, it's the beginning of this clip, and it won't.
Yeah. Did the same thing for me.
Two beer guys, we brew for you.
Exactly.
There.
We brew for you. Okay. So the other article that I brought up, and it was from a website called The Street, and it covers the 10 most expensive beers in craft beer's sketchiest resale market.
All right.
Reselling craft beer is illegal, but that doesn't stop beer geeks across the country from paying huge sums for rare vintages.
Which is totally sketchy and immoral, and I hate it. But it is interesting to see what they're getting for these.
Do we guess?
Yeah, we should.
Oh yeah, well, you should guess. Like, do you have any just off the top guesses of what would be on this list? Most
Pliny.
expensive beers.
Somebody said Pliny. I heard Pliny.
Yep, that's what I'm going with Pliny.
Okay, so write that down. Just
Expensive?
I'm gonna guess Utopias, but that's expensive to begin with, right?
yeah. So this is in a resale market.
Okay. KBS probably, right?
Okay, so write that down.
West
KBS,
Lebanon?
Pliny.
I don't know if it's expensive.
Boston Lager?
I know so little.
Okay, so we're gonna go from 10 down to 1. I'm gonna tell you the beer, and then you have to kind of
Are these
guess.
ordered by price?
They're kind of by the value.
So as we go, it's gonna get higher in price.
In theory.
Yeah. Okay.
In theorem.
In
No,
theory.
I'm just wondering what the ordering was. Okay.
So number 10 is 2014 Mikkeller Beer Geek Vanilla Shake Bourbon Edition.
Whoa.
Too long of a name.
Pretty specific.
Sell it.
Exactly.
Oh.
So
Number 9.
no, guess a bottle price for a single bottle.
$25.
Small bottle or big bottle?
22-ounce bottle. No, it's not.
$25.
No. It looks.
Those
If it's
Mikkeller ones are usually small.
if it's a 22, I would be surprised. It looks maybe like a 500 milliliter, but
like a 15, not
like yeah.
$24.
$50.
Nope.
Higher?
How about 125?
Whoa.
And that's number 10?
That's number 10.
Ugh.
of these 10. Holy
Damn these
crap.
beers.
Woof.
Okay.
All right. What's next?
Number 9.
Barreled souls. No, I'm kidding.
1996 Blind Pig second edition second anniversary double IPA from Blind Pig.
But
A 90
it's old.
A 20-year-old IPA.
1996. Take a wild guess.
And we've all had blind pig
It's gotta
before.
be north of 125, right? So what, like 150 bucks?
125.50. Is that like why are you buying an old IPA?
$1.
Yeah. So obviously it's from Russian River.
Yep.
It was a commercially at 9.5. And they're saying roughly $129.
Huh. What? Like
one
why would you
bottle.
buy an old IPA? That's not. All right, never mind.
Not smart people. You can
Not-
send me
yeah.
$159.
Not the
I'm
podcast.
giving you stale IPA any day of the week.
Ben, this might be in your wheelhouse.
What?
2013 Cantillon Fu Foon.
Oh.
Foune.
It's pronounced Cantaloons.
I would say 135 US.
151 US.
130. Sorry, Carla.
30. No, it's all right. Go ahead.
I was
Okay,
close with going
Number 7. 2005. Just in case anyone has this. 2005 Pizza Port, mother of all beers.
All right, I have it. Tell me how much I should sell it for on eBay.
Wow.
$165.
What is this?
It
They
is
were
a-
buying a pizza from 1996.
Yeah, that's a pizza. Yeah.
11.5 ABV Belgian quad.
At least that'll hold up. I mean, like, if Belgian quad age that old, it'll be delicious.
Yeah.
That's probably pretty
Okay.
sweet. It's probably not too boozy. Probably good.
Okay, so number 6. 2006 Founders KBS. 2006 version.
Wow, that's 10 years old.
10 years old. That's probably really good.
Oh.
Oh man.
Did someone bury that in their backyard? God. So what was the last one? 160 something?
It doesn't follow the same math on this one.
Oh God.
Oh,
$280.
$12.
$12.
$135.
135. Woo.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So number 5.
And again, that's a small bottle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, small ball, 12 ounce.
People would pay that nowadays still, I think.
Per ounce. I mean, God.
2002 Dogfish Head Raison d'Extra.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. I had
Which is
2002. I don't have 2002. I have some really old Raison Dexter.
Yeah,
the
but
big,
you
the
had-
big bottle, 750 milliliter.
Oh, wow.
I've never had Raison Dextra.
It's really good.
And
Any guesses?
165.
171.
Anyone else?
75.
260.
What year was it? 96, you said?
2002.
How
That's
much is
what-
the 2009 Worldwide Stout? Because I have lots of those.
Number 4. 2005 Sam Adams Utopias.
Oh, my God.
2005?
Did he say Boston Lager?
Was that the first
2005 Boston Lager.
That's gotta be $350. I mean, because 70 just outright, right? Like,
2005 Boston Lager is.
I'm doing $350.
Anyone else?
I would say 3.
I would say 410.
380. Carl
Yes.
Evans.
Yep. Can you imagine how thick that pours? Like motor oil. That's probably
Hey, as
been.
long as it's not like triple Bach, I don't care.
Oh, it's probably so good.
Soy sauce.
Oh, this is a
So,
great
yes.
one. 2008 Lost Abbey Isabel Proximus, which is from Lost Abbey. Yeah,
That's
so
gotta
Lost
be like
Abbey Isabel Proximus,
$20.
2008.
Is 20?
Lost Abbey's good. Oh, man.
5 bills.
$5
Yeah,
bills?
those $500.
We're in the wrong industry, just so you
This
know.
is
Yes.
yeah.
Why are we not? Yeah.
This is only getting better.
That's what the whole white whale chase is going on. It's like we're
Exactly.
chasing the whales.
What if there's any
Number-
Malgash on this list?
Bringing in number 2, 2015 Three Floyds Cherry Nibs Bourbon Barrel Aged Dark Lord. So it's very good chance that someone has one of these.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Three Floyds
But they'll
Cherry
never
Nib
open it.
Bourbon Barrel Aged Dark Lord.
They'll never
Sounds
open it.
delicious.
620.
Oh, I'm-
575.
550. Nice. Yep. Someone has it and they'll sell it, like, because they don't even want to drink it. That's, man.
And you guys, okay, so you've heard the beers. You want to guess at the number 1?
Yes. Hold on. Is it something we know?
Yes.
Oh,
This
it's
is a
gotta
special
be
edition.
Hunapoo. Is it Hunapoo?
He's smiling. Look at him.
2013 to 2015, Cigar City Hanafu
played.
Imperial Stout, ringing in $600.
Holy shit.
See, the funny thing, I was going to guess Boston Lager, but
But summer ale.
This one was actually, I think someone was selling all four.
Did someone buy it though? Because there's a big
like
difference
a
between.
lot of each year, so that you could do.
Yeah,
like,
so 2013 to 2015, and one of them was brandy barrel aged.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of quiche though for 20 ounces.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like Kate the Great used to go for a bit.
Yes, that's a fact.
Did some of that still.
Yeah.
I have old Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout. I have old 120 Minute. Although that's probably crazy right now.
Maybe for the 200th episode, we'll have to do a Secret Smokers Lab podcast auction of beers, with the money going to charity, of course. You have to figure that out. If Sean's still around for this episode.
Sure, let's do it.
Sure, here he is. That's good one. That's a lot of money for beer. That's a lot of money.
I was more interested of like what would people be paying money for.
The IPA confuses me. Like, I get
For
it,
sure.
because things like the stouts and those big, heavy alcohol beers, they're like a port
Yep.
wine, they're like a bourbon that you can store away, you know, but,
Not an IPA.
I mean, yeah, what's up with that? I'm going to have to research that.
I mean, I would guess something like, Tactical Nuclear Penguin or Saint Bismarck or
I mean, if it was like
the
first-
End of the Days or whatever it was with the...
yes, End of History and the Swirl. Yes.
If it was the first Blind Pig, maybe. So I don't know. I'll have to look to see.
It was old, right? Yeah.
Right.
It was old.
So like maybe like the first bottle rocket out of the Portsmouth Brewery would go for more, but it's just to have like the
It's
first.
like a history problem. Like,
Right. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I just because we saw them again at when we were in Florida. I saw the folks from Indianapolis. We just visited, Brian.
Oh, Sun
Sun
King.
King. And I had been holding on a bottle of 840 Stone Coast double IPA,
Right.
unopened, and I was like, I'm never gonna drink this. And that when they opened up, we had learned a couple years ago that they had bought the system from Stone Coast.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have this bottle. And years ago, they were like, oh, well, we'll send you some beer or whatever if you send us the bottle. And I was like, just never really got around to it until
and they would
last
have.
week.
Yeah, I was there, but
No, we just shipped it to them.
you should have.
Yeah, we shipped it to them, and they said, wow, this showed up. This is awesome. It came from this original system. Don't know if they're ever going to open it or if it's just going to stay up on
Sit on a shelf.
a shelf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool trash can. Nice.
So,
I think that might have to do it for the show. We have the other articles on the show notes at svlpodcast.com, along with Beer as Art, which we were trying to get posted more often. I took a couple photos today. I'm going to put them up on Beer as Art, which is a Tumblr page. And Sean, once he figures out how to do Tumblr, will stop sending me them via text.
I don't even know.
How to receive awesome photos via text. But no, it's beerisart at .tumblr.com. We also have some events listed. The Copenhagen Beer Festival, beer celebration, is going on in September. We also have tickets for the Extreme Beer Fest have gone on sales. I don't know if they're sold out yet. They went on sale last week for, I believe, 3 sessions, so you can check it out at beeradvocate.com. I have yet to go, but we do have tickets for the Saturday session finally, so we will be going to that.
They do have the Beer in Belgian Fest that they're selling right now, too.
It's back, right? This is the first
Yeah,
time it's back in a bit. So, yeah, the Belgian Beer Fest, cool.
That will be hosted in, I think, Portland.
Oh, right, yes, good call. Nice.
Yep.
So, Carla, anything happening in the next week that you want to give a shout-out to?
On the Dewardrow opening.
Yes.
There's not a lot on my calendar, but I'm pretty excited about that happening, so I will be hanging out there.
Very cool. At Beer Babe on the tweets.
Yup.
Shano, what's going on next week for you, sir?
We have our big beer fest this weekend, Gate City Brew Fest, Nashua Beer and Wings Festival. There's over 40, actually I think there's around 50 breweries that are there. It's all ages, family fun. You can bring a stroller, bring chairs. There's music, bouncy houses, face painting,
Nice.
everything. I think there's even a magician this year.
So you're
I don't-
doing the face painting?
I am painting people's faces.
Perfect. Bring your kids.
Everybody gets a mustache, boys
Right.
and girls.
So is that one session all day Saturday?
Yep.
Cool. And what's the is it gatecity.com or
Gate City BrewfestNH.com. It's
Perfect.
at Holman Stadium, which is a baseball field in
Oh, sure.
Nashua.
Yeah.
So
put
it's
it
outside.
put it in the show notes so we can get some ticks.
Will do.
Yes. And you'll see Sean there, of course. Hopefully it'll be, if it is any human as it was this weekend, I will see you never, because this weekend was unbearable, sir. Speaking of unbearable, Ben, what's going on this weekend for you? Anything crazy?
Nope, I have kids.
Oh, right, baby, which is not here right now, so perfect. This weekend I'll be going back to I'll be hanging out with Momo from the podcast. Mike Meredith will be doing
Wait, Black Meredith?
no, Mike Meredith will be hanging out.
Black Meredith is a badass like metal band.
Black Meredith is, yes, the metal band of metal bands. We'll be hanging out at Ipswich Brewery. Sean, what you been to? Ipswich?
Full spot.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice place. We'll be there.
Gonna go get a liter over at Notch.
Yep. So I'm hoping to take him there. It'll be me, him, and Rick Brews. So keep an eye on Rick Brews' Twitter. And big shout out to Rick Brews. For those that don't follow him on Twitter, he's brewed 3 beers in the past 4 weeks, which for any home brewer is crazy. But Rick Brews is kind of going at it. So big shout out to my dad, Rick Brews. But other than that, again, check out sblpodcast.com for the show notes. We are 150 episodes into this. I cannot thank those of you that listen and comment every week. And I know there's a couple that even saw us at a beer fest. They saw me and Sean and like, wait a minute, you guys look familiar. And they know it's Sean before me, which I was super pissed about. But then, then they ended up recognizing me, like, wait a minute, you do too. And I'm like, yes. So
But you were incognito.
yes, I was wearing a hat and glasses.
He's a blogger. Aren't you just you? Like,
I was wearing a fake glasses and nose thing. No,
Oh, okay.
we do appreciate the support we've had over the past 150. We're hoping to do as many more as we can as long as you guys support us. So please tell a friend to go to sblpodcast.com and subscribe. We're on iTunes, Google, Spotify, all that stuff. So please tell a friend. And Carla, Sean, Ben, I appreciate it. The past couple 150 Fs, and we will see you guys next week. So I appreciate it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.